Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and have a good day to our respected lecturer. Today we'll be presenting our FIN675 group assignment on topic of retirement planning in Malaysia. What is retirement planning? As life expectancy continuously increase, many individuals will spend a longer period in retirement. Therefore, retirement planning has become a crucial part of long-term financial management. So, before we begin, let me introduce our team members first. So, my name is Nurul Shafikah binti Muhammad Osman.
My name is ARISYA binti AZRAN.
I am SYADIAH binti AHMAD SABRI.
My name is FATEHAH binti Muhammad ZAMRI.
My name is Puteri RABIYATUN ADABIYAH binti BAKHTIAR.
Okay, so without further delay, let's go through first the introduction. So our group will be presenting a comparison of two main retirement schemes in Malaysia, which are the Government Pension Scheme and the Employees Provident Fund (EPF). The purpose of this presentation is to highlight the importance of retirement planning, especially as Malaysians are living longer and facing rising living costs. Through this study, we aim to evaluate whether individuals from the public sector and private sector are financially prepared for retirement by comparing their retirement income, future living costs, and retirement adequacy. By using real case study, the comparison helps us understand the strength and limitation of each scheme and identify potential gaps.
Now, let's move on to sample A, which is governance servant. For the profile, Mr. FAIZUL AZRAN bin Abdul Aziz as senior teacher at Kelantan and married with 6 children. He is 36 of service, hold grade D13 and approaching retirement age. For the current income and financial position, net monthly income after deduction is RM8,040 and 58 cents. And for the estimated household expenses is RM4,500 per month. For the saving and retirement preparation, Encik Faizul don't have EPF contribution, private saving or retirement investment. So, he is fully dependent on government pension for retirement.
Now let's look at very different scenario. While Mr. FAIZUL has guaranteed pension scheme, sample B represented by the T of million of Malaysian private sector worker who depend entirely on EPF for retirement. Let me introduce Mr. Ahmad Sabri. Mr. Ahmad is 51 years old and works as an operator at Highcom Automotive Manufacturers Malaysia in Pekan Pahang. He's been with the company for 29 years, a long-serving employee in Malaysia's manufacturing sector. He also classified as B40 worker. Mr. Ahmad Sabri has 9 years until retirement at age 60. Based on life expectancy, we are planning for a 13-year retirement period from age 60 to 73. So 9 years to accumulate and 13 years for his saving to last. His current monthly income is RM2,623 or about RM31,476 annually. Meanwhile, monthly expenses are about RM2,000. So as of end 2025, Mr. Ahmad has accumulated RM163,048. Mr. Ahmad's EPF contributions include an 11% employee contribution and a 13% employer contributions. That's a total of RM7,554 annually, or 24% of his salary that automatically saved through his mandatory system. But the key question here is, will his current savings plus the 9 more years of contributions will be sufficient for the 13 year of retirement?
For the pension scheme calculation, sample A is Encik Faizul Azran, a government servant. He has served for more than 36 years, which exceeds the minimum service requirement. So, he is eligible for full pension benefits. Under the government pension scheme, the pension is calculated as 50% of the last gross salary. Based on his current basic salary and a 5% wage growth over 2 years, the annual pension fund is RM62,145.61 per year. To evaluate the value of this pension in today's terms, the present value is calculated using the annuity due method over a 20-year retirement period with a 5% discount rate. Based on this calculation, the government pension provides a substantial and stable source of retirement income.
To project Mr. Ahmad's EPF at retirement, we use two financial calculation methods as shown on this slide. Company 1 used the future value method, the standard compound interest formula. This calculates how his existing EPF balance will grow through compound return over the next 9 years. Meanwhile, component 2 used the growing annuity method. This is more complex because it accounts for two things. First, his salary growing each year, which means contributions also increase, and each of those contributions earning returns until the retirement. So these are the two methods that we will apply. So the next slide, we show the actual calculations with the numbers. Now applying the two methods with actual numbers. Component 1, using future value method, the current balance 155,000 at 5% for 9 years equals to 241,000. That's 49% of the total EPF. Meanwhile, component 2, using the growing annuity method, the future contributions with the parameters shown equals to 248,000. That's 51% of the total EPF. So total EPF at age 60 is 489,981 ringgit.
Next, I will explain the estimate cost of living after retirement. Estimating future living costs is important to determine whether retirement income is sufficient to maintain a reasonable standard of living. Due to inflation, the cost of basic necessities such as food, healthcare, and utilities is expected to increase over time. As people age, medical expenses may also rise significantly. Therefore, retirement planning may not also focus on income, but also on how future expenses will change, so that retirees do not face financial difficulties in later years.
Hi everyone, my name is Nurul FATEHAH. This section discusses the inflation-adjusted total retirement requirement for Sample A, Mr. FAIZUL AZRAN. Using the capital liquidation method, Mr. FAIZUL will need about 1.15 million ringgit at retirement to support his living expenses. Now, for Sample B, Mr. AHMAD SABRI's retirement capital requirement, inflation is considered to ensure his income remains sufficient during retirement. The capital liquidation method is used to assess sustainability. Overall, his savings are adequate, but healthcare costs may affect retirement security.
Next, let's move to comparison between pension and EPF in financial stability. For the pension, it's defined benefit scheme with guaranteed monthly income for life, high income certainty, and long-term financial stability, no investment or market risk borne by retirees, longevity risk absorbed by the government, regular payment support effective budgeting in retirement. While the EPF defined contribution scheme based on total contribution and investment returns, no guaranteed lifetime income, member may withdraw saving as lump sum or phased withdrawal, exposed to investment risk and longevity risk. Lastly, risk of saving being exhausted if
Then let's talk
poorly
about
managed. Comparison between pension and EPF in inflation impact. For the pension, it provides fixed monthly income after retirement, vulnerable to inflation as purchasing power decline over time, rising living costs erode real pension value, no automatic inflation indexation, any benefit increase depend on government policy. While the EPF, investment in diversified assets, investment return may help hedge against inflation during accumulation, inflation risk remain during withdrawal phase, retirement income depend on market performance and withdrawal strategy. For the lastly is poor planning may reduce purchasing power after
Now, we move on to the sustainability and risk. Malaysia has two retirement systems, pension and the EPF. Pensions give guaranteed income but burden the government. The EPF is more sustainable but shift risk to individuals. So, a balanced approach is needed.
Now, I will discuss the healthcare and welfare benefits between the pension scheme and the EPF scheme. Government pensioners receive free or highly subsidized medical treatment at public hospitals, which helps to significantly reduce healthcare expenses during retirement. This also means that health and longevity risks are largely borne by the government. In contrast, the EPF scheme does not provide built-in healthcare benefits. EPF members must rely on their own savings or private insurance to cover medical costs, and using EPF savings for healthcare purposes may reduce retirement adequacy. Overall, the pension scheme offers stronger healthcare and welfare protection compared to EPF. Next, I will explain the strengths of the pension scheme. First, it provides guaranteed and stable income based on the last drawn salary, meaning retirees are not affected by market fluctuations. Second, the pension scheme offers protection against longevity risk as pension payments are made for life. Third, the scheme includes healthcare and welfare benefits such as free or subsidized treatment at public hospitals, which helps reduce medical expenses during retirement. Lastly, the pension scheme provides strong social protection as financial and retirement risks are largely borne by the government. Overall, these strengths make the pension scheme more secure compared to EPF.
These are the main weaknesses of the pension scheme. First, it depends too much on government funding. Second, many workers do not save enough for retirement. Third, inflation and longer life reduce pension value. Fourth, weak management affect efficiency. And lastly, many informal and gig workers are not well protected.
Moving on to the strength of the EPF scheme, one of the main strengths of EPS is that it's a mandatory saving scheme where both employee and employers contribute regularly throughout a person's working life. EPF funds are professionally managed and invest in diversified assets which help generate investment return and partially protect saving against inflation during the accumulation phase. In addition, EPF offers flexibility, allowing members to withdraw part of their savings for purposes such as housing, education, and healthcare. Overall, EPF encourages financial discipline and personal responsibility in retirement planning. However, the EPF scheme also has several weaknesses. Unlike the pension scheme, EPF does not provide guaranteed monthly income for life. Once the savings are withdrawn, there is no assurance that the fund will last throughout retirement. EPF members also face longevity risk, meaning they may outlive their savings if withdrawals are not carefully planned. Furthermore, retirement adequacy under EPF depends heavily on income level, contribution rate, and financial literacy. Without proper planning and discipline, EPF savings may be insufficient to cover rising living and healthcare costs after retirement.
Next, let's move on to recommendation for sample A. There are 4 recommendations for the sample A. The first one is supplement pension with additional saving, combine pension income with EPF or private investment to protect purchasing power against inflation and provide fund for medical emergencies and lifestyle changes. Second, implement budgeting and expenses management. Establish operating budget for accurate expenses tracking to adjust withdrawal from saving according to cost of living changes and regularly review update monthly expenses. Third, plan for healthcare and unexpected costs. Invest in supplemental private health insurance and create emergency saving fund to allocate retirement saving for unexpected expenses. Lastly is periodic financial evaluation. Review pension and saving adequacy after retirement and adjust strategies to maintain security against inflation and lifestyle.
Mr. Ahmad has a projected surplus of 118,579 ringgit with total resources of 500,136 ringgit exceeds the required 381,557 ringgit by 31%. This is positive but still require action to protect it. Recommendation 1 to maintain saving discipline. Continue his 24% EPF contributions for the next 9 years and avoid early withdrawal, which could cost 38,000 to 40,000 ringgit in lost growth. Build an emergency fund of 12,000 to 24,000 ringgit outside of EPF. Recommendation 2 to secure the healthcare coverage. Without insurance, healthcare costs of 87,000 to 113,000 ringgit over 13 years will raise his surplus. He also needs medical and critical illness coverage with affordable options for B40 workers like myself. Recommendation 3 to diversify investments. With 95.4% of savings in EPF, allocate 300 to 400 ringgit monthly to investments like SB, unit trust, and PRS for diversification. Recommendation 4 to plan the EPF withdrawal. At age 55, keep EPF account 2 funds invested for 5 more years to add 30,000 to 50,000 ringgit through compound growth. And conduct annual review to monitor the performance of inflation and insurance coverage. So in summary, maintain EPF contributions, secure healthcare, diversify investment, and plan for EPF withdrawal. By following this, Mr. Ahmad can secure a comfortable retirement. Mr. Ahmad has a projected surplus of 118,579 ringgit with total resources of 500,136 ringgit exceeds the required 381,557 ringgit by 31%. This is positive but still require action to protect it.
Recommendation 1 to maintain saving discipline. Continue his 24% EPF contributions for the next 9 years and avoid early withdrawal, which could cost 38,000 to 40,000 ringgit in lost growth. Build an emergency fund of 12,000 to 24,000 ringgit outside of EPF. Recommendation 2 to secure the healthcare coverage. Without insurance, healthcare costs of 87,000 to 113,000 ringgit over 13 years will raise his surplus. You also need medical and critical illness coverage with affordable options for B40 worker like MySalam. Recommendation 3 to diversify investments. With 95.4% of savings in EPF, allocate 300 to 400 ringgit monthly to investments like SME, unit trust, and PRS for diversification. Recommendation 4 to plan the EPF.
To wrap up this presentation, this study shows that retirement security depends on job sector. Pensions offer stable income and healthcare, but may not fully cover inflation. EPF can be sufficient, but retirees face higher financial and medical risks. Therefore, early planning and extra savings are essential for a secure retirement. That's all from us. Thank you for watching.